Surprise, surprise, it actually worked. Alright, we will rabbit hole until we get back into replaced. On which all rabbit holes will cease. See if we actually finish it today. I'm assuming it's really not that long of a game.
So this is a Think Before You Sleep video. I am a fan of his, and I watched his Tectone video about the court case not too long ago with you guys. This video is his newest one. It came out 6 days ago. It's called Being Ugly. It kind of
I actually like Rudyard too. He does good videos.
caught my eye. The thumbnail has Clavicular on it, who I believe is a rising content creator, rising in fame content creator.
He's also rising in overdose levels right now.
Especially with the younger crowd. I believe he's 20 years old. So yeah, we're gonna watch this video and see what he has to say about being ugly.
You know, with my wife, I've been together with my wife for 19 years. So I've known my wife at a range from, you know, like 120 pounds to almost 200 pounds. The true attraction isn't about what we look like. It's about what kind of a connection you have with that person.
Yeah.
Not all the time, buddy.
I don't know. It starts with initial.
I think it depends on what the wife looks like in his case. If the wife looks very similar to him, then the visual, his whole point is moot.
Attraction though, with looks, right? Let's be honest now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but it's also nice when your wife isn't obese. I think we all need to be honest with ourselves here and just admit that we're all
Rudyard says it right away, basically, exactly what I just said.
superficial when it comes to looks, and no man or woman wants to be with someone who they think is ugly. Which brings us to one of the latest internet sensations, Clavicular.
What's good?
Okay. Okay, Think Before You Sleep, he just like laid it out.
He just ripped the Band-Aid right
laid it
off.
out. I respect it. I respect content creators that, you know, don't sugarcoat it. So, yeah. Let's talk about Clavicular, though.
What's going to actually get you further in life? What's going to get you opportunities in the workplace? What's going to get you, you know, dates? It's going to be looks 100 times over, and there's really no denying that.
He's not wrong. If you want to work on the most impactful thing that will positively benefit your life in numerous ways, appearance is going to be at the top of the list. So this ideology has been going around the internet for the past few years, and it's called the Black Pill. Today's most successful promoter of the Black Pill is Braden Peters, or Clavicular, who went onto internet forums and vastly improved his looks over.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that he started like that either. Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, good for him. You know, improving his looks like that.
A few years. This is called looks maxing, with an extra emphasis on the word maxing because Zoomers like to add that word to everything.
Yep.
Now, just to get this out of the way, I don't like Clavicular as a person at all. Personally, I think he's a degenerate drug addict who is modeling some pretty harmful behaviors to young people.
I agree. Actually, I agree. Everything I've seen about Clavicular lately,
Dude is
there's a
not
video
a
of
good
him like
fucking influence
convulsing
at
on the
all.
floor of some club from drugs, I think. He's 20
So there you go. That explains why he's in the hospital right now. That quite literally explains it. I didn't realize it was that bad.
years old. He's 20 years old. And he's surrounding himself with a bunch of whores. And he's just being extremely, like he said, Think Before You Sleep said, degenerate. It's very trashy. You know? Damn, I feel old. That's sad. It is sad. He's just being trashy too. His Twitter videos are of him like drinking and doing drugs and being surrounded by whores, and they're dressed all trashy, and it just sucks to see. You know, I just feel like the whole like bettering yourself, trying to make yourself look better is a good message. That's a good message. You know, lose weight, be healthy. You want to be attractive. Being attractive does get you, you know, further in life, and you get special perks to it. But when you go out and you act like a trashy retard, then it's kind of tough, you know? It's tough to listen to the messenger when they're acting like a retard, and he's ruining his life with drugs at a young age. Sad.
Online influencer named Clavicular is being charged with misdemeanor battery.
So when it comes to online influencer, Clavicula, wait, how do you say that again?
Clavicular, or Clav, is what he's also called.
Right, thanks. So when it comes to online influencer, Clavicular, I don't like him as a messenger, but me hating the messenger doesn't mean that every part of
He
his
said it
message is
too.
incorrect. And I also can't deny that the message is resonating with people because clearly it is based on how often he goes viral. The question is, why?
I care deeply about the struggles of the average.
Okay, but I'll be honest, everything that I see going viral about Clavicular isn't about looks maxing anymore.
It's at his
about
expense.
A woman like smacking him, or girls being around him and littering on
Or
the side of the
him
road, and
running over a guy
him
in the
doing a
car.
bunch of like trashy stuff. Like I don't see any looks maxing things anymore. I just shooting an alligator, yes, that too. Which, by the way, I'm not gonna deny makes me get serial killer vibes, because I'm pretty sure it was like him and his friends went out into the bayou, and he like unloaded a clip on an alligator.
He just wants to shoot something. He's itching.
It's just kind of bizarre. That's very bizarre to do. It makes me question like who he's surrounding himself with, and I feel like they're not bringing out the best. Powder got the ick from him and he deserved it. I honestly, my first impression of him was good, because my first impression of him was him in the bus with Nick Fuentes, Marion, and I think another influencer, and that's when they went to the club in Florida and they got banned from it. They got banned from the Florida club, and you know, they were singing the Kanye song, and it looked like they were just like having a good time. You know what I mean? And that didn't bother me. I saw them having it was a bunch of dudes having a good time, and then they go and get banned from a Florida club because reasons. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know this influencer all too much. It's good that he's pushing this message of bettering yourself looks wise. But then after that, it just, everything I see going viral again is just trashy stuff, and I'm mentally checking out now.
Male being unable to even find like a romantic partner, and I think that that's something that needs to be advocated for more than any political movement.
Yeah, so I think a big part of Clavicular's fame is because he's appealing to men who have been treated like shit because they've grown up being lied to about the ancient wisdom of being attractive matters. Understand that not that long ago, everyone knew this. It is so a part of the culture that C.S. Lewis wrote a children's book like 70 years ago where when people die and go to heaven, they get more attractive. I mean, they used to think that
I
sinning
didn't
made
know
you
that.
ugly, which is basically true because people will treat you as if you have sinned if you're unattractive. So C.S. Lewis wrote a series to say, nah, they don't have uggos in heaven. And apparently, according to people in my comments, C.S. Lewis was...
Really? I did not know that. I did not know that you went to Narnia and you're hot. Only beautiful souls go to heaven. Well, Narnia, I guess you become hot. What if you become a goat man?
C.S. Lewis was even more explicit about this in his book, The Great Divorce. But understand that Clavicular is popular because he's hitting popular pain points in society pretty frequently. For example, there's a clip of him running over a guy who was blocking his Tesla, and it went viral.
Is he dead? Hopefully.
Should he have done that? Probably not, but the reason that this moment resonated with a ton of people is because everyone's tired of idiots blocking the road. But outside of that, and outside of him going viral for degenerate reasons like shooting a dead alligator in Florida, the
Yeah.
main reason that people are supporting him is because of stuff like this.
You're a content creator, you're streaming all the time. You think that if you were not physically good looking, you wouldn't have as much success?
No, I wouldn't at all.
Even if you were like a genius, like Beethoven level creative, but you were busted, you don't think you'd pop off?
Well, that's the thing. So now you have to be so well off in another category to compensate for your lack of looks that you have to be a Beethoven level player in order to compete with a guy who's, you know, just like, you know, mogging and going to the club. It really
fucking hate that
gives
term
people
so
huge
much.
advantage in life to have looks on their side.
Yeah, I think it's definitely true.
Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't build skills or a personality or be a good person. All of those things are very important, and they should never be sacrificed. However, ignoring the importance of appearance is completely retarded. You need to do what's in meta. I'll say it like this. Imagine you're playing a video game. I'll use Expedition 33 as an example because recently I was looking at the meta for this game a lot. Expedition 33 has some pretty tough bosses, and you can get in there and memorize all of the attacks, do a little bit of damage at a time, and eventually you'll come out as victorious. Or you can develop a deep knowledge of how the game works, set your characters up properly, and do like 1 billion points of damage to the boss and kill it instantly.
I think in real life, yes.
Not
The
doing
looks
that to
thing,
Simon though.
comes with a lot of perks, for sure. Online, with men especially, I just don't think the expectation is there as much as it is for women. And we talked about this briefly when we were talking about VTubers, right? Where like all the top female streamers who aren't, they are attractive. Top female streamers are attractive or appear to be attractive if they use a VTubing model, whereas all the top male content creators are average or even below average. So there's not this expectation for these male content creators to be the most Henry Cavill looking kind of guy. So internet wise, I would say content creator wise, it's a bit different, but overall you should want to better yourself anyway. Like you should want to look nice. I think that that's a good message regardless. You must a top 90% man to pull anything decent for online dating. Online dating's rough. We watched a video on that too, like Tinder dating and how men hardly get matches and stuff like that. But it's people who are terminally online and women with inflated senses of ego who are online. If they were to take a look outside, you would see so many people that are just average or below average. Like, they're just not living in reality if they're online and they are thinking that they deserve more than what they can put out or look like. Let's be realistic, like, please, before you start being super picky, like, take a mirror and look at yourself. What do you have to offer? Now there's some things that like will outweigh the looks, right? Especially with men, right? You have Leonardo DiCaprio and he's like the guy, but he's what, like 55? He's the guy. He's 55. He's an older dude, and he's going and dating a bunch of 20-year-olds because he's the guy, So even though his looks have dwindled, he brings other things to the table that outweigh
money and
that
status.
for attractive women. Attractive women are going to be attracted to him for
money.
more
There you go.
reasons than his looks.
Looks and monging your competition into humiliation, obliteration are of course a very important factor in dating. That said, all the best relationships start with chloroform.
Someone check on that guy. Excuse me? Do you know that movie called Split? Where the guy, he hops in the car and there's the 3 girls and he like sprays them with stuff. And the other girl like looks over and she starts crying. And I don't know why she didn't just run out of the car or anything like that. I feel like she had plenty of time to run out of the car. Whatever. Different
You're
thing
not
to rant
outrunning the
about,
beast.
but that's exactly what I thought of when you said that. I think all the best relationships that I've seen start off as friends. When you start off as friends, because girls, I'll speak personally, oftentimes what I've found is that I will, befriend someone, and then over time they start becoming more and more attractive. Like their humor makes them attractive. Like you just start to notice all these little things, and it outweighs some of the more
Is she going to address
undesirable aspects of them, I
the
guess.
zone?
This is a psyop, boys. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
I know it's tough. That's for me. I'm speaking personally for me, and I'm also the type of girl to like go after it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want something, I will go for it. I'll just be honest.
Good for you.
I don't like games. And I try to tell all my, my female friends that. I tell my cousins that. You know, the game thing is just like so like
Yes,
let's
it
weigh
is
the pros
annoying.
and cons here. I am very much so like you go for it type of girl. If I have a girl coming to me and she's like super interested in her like guy best friend, then I'm like, go for it, do it, because oftentimes the guy will agree to get into a relationship. I will say there has been one case where a guy friend of mine has rejected a female friend.
Why?
She kind of went crazy because of it. So I guess he dodged a bullet. But there were other factors involved, right? Like it was going to be a long distance thing. It was a country versus or it was a out of the country situation.
Yep. Nope.
Right?
He
Two
made the right
different
choice.
countries involved, and yeah, it's you. Oh my god. No, this isn't the Texas India video where the guy is like, oh, my friend.
His friend.
What the fuck?
This isn't about you. You're not the friend, right? I'm the close one. You.
No, this isn't one of those situations. It wasn't me. It's not me. You guys are evil. God damn it. This is the last time I tell you any personal stories. Fuck you guys. But you love us. Yeah, I guess I kind of like some toxicity here and there. Spices things up a little bit. Okay, you're good fun. You're good fun.
And do like 1 billion points of damage to the boss and kill it instantly. Yes, there are many ways of getting stuff done, but if you're playing a game where your life is on the line, then why would you not use the most effective build?
If I had to date in the year of our Lord 2025, I would be very upset. I would have to learn how to mod, I would have to learn how to mew, I would have to learn all these skills that I don't possess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that the main reason that is because of Instagram. You know, maybe you had a girl from your town who's going to try to date above her looks level, maybe just in her immediate surroundings. But now you've got people like, you know, professional athletes DMing them on Instagram, flying them out. So you're not just competing with the top chads of your 15-mile radius, you're competing with the entire world.
I'm not really sure about the whole Instagram argument. I've never seen
It's
that with regular
bullshit.
women. However, I have seen it with social media influencers.
Yeah.
But whether the
It's actually the biggest self-report that's how he views it. Because that's where his entire poll is. Because that's where all of his fucking clout is.
Instagram thing is actually affecting women's perception of the dating market or not, it's clear that dating apps are. Just for the simple fact that it's giving you access to people that are as far away as you are willing to drive. Versus in the past, you would really only date people in places that were convenient for you to regularly visit.
Right.
So your competition jumped by 5 or 10 times. And even though personally I despise dating apps and I think people shouldn't use them, that doesn't change the reality that tons of people do and tons of women do.
Yeah.
Because dating apps are like drugs for women's ego, just like porn is a drug for men's dopamine system. Really, I think
a good
porn and
comparison,
anime camera
actually.
angles are a major contributor to the incel problem. So whether you like this reality or not, because our perceptions are all warped from porn and dating apps, everyone's got to level up, at least a little bit. It's time to return to tradition and start being more superficial about our appearances, instead of allowing like 70% of Americans to be fat slobs.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
attractive. I never get hit on.
Oh no.
Oh, Septum.
Wee-woo. I'm just kidding. Okay, she might be okay though. This is a what is
Not
it?
when
A
you
yellow
lead off with
flag,
that.
right? An orange flag maybe.
Wait, don't use that color.
The nose ring is a red flag, but like everything else, she's cute, right? Nice hair, nice face. Kind of like her teeth being a little not perfect. Let's see. We'll give her a chance. We gotta give her a chance, guys. We can't just write it off, okay?
Americans to be fat slobs.
I'm attractive. I never get hit on. Ever. And I'm a flirty girl. I'm a real flirty girl. So, like, if somebody hit on me, like, in line at the store, I'd be all about it. Nothing. I never get fucking hit on. And I don't know why.
Time to pick
I
up
would
the
love for
slack.
someone to give me, like, the actual genuine reason why it drives me fucking crazy. Like, hit on me.
She's really insecure now. Right? Like, I feel like she's being extremely insecure here. This is when you would step up as a woman and go and do that first. Like, go and find a man that you're attracted to and go hit on him. I think a lot of guys are.
I think a quiet thing that doesn't get acknowledged as much as it probably should, because we don't really have confirmation, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there, is that main character syndrome is an immediate no-no. I think that is like the big quiet red flag. And they all have this.
Extremely shy. You could do it. Why not? Right?
Oh, this one's easy. Take out the nose rings and get braces. She doesn't have to change that much to
I like her teeth. I'm not gonna deny it. I do. I kind of like her teeth. They're not like gross looking, I'll say. I feel like they're like dorky looking. And I'll tell you why. It's because I keep seeing these Hollywood actresses and actors getting veneers, and they look like horses now. They like really scary teeth. It's bright white. It's perfectly straight, big, too big for their mouth. And so now I've kind of started leaning more towards people whose teeth are just their natural shape. Like, they don't have to be super straight. They don't have to be just the brightest, whitest teeth ever. As long as, you know, your hygiene is good and your health is good, then, you know, I'm more willing to let that stuff slide. I think imperfections are endearing. I think it brings more character to you. There's so many actors and actresses, that change their teeth, and then it kind of makes them look scary. And you're
in other words, even in IRL, the Mary Sue is not a good thing.
like, oh, you're not very attractive anymore. Hollywood beauty standards are just messed up. There's that saying, right? People online, I'm not ugly, I'm just poor. It's pushing the wrong message. All this Hollywood bullshit.
She doesn't have to change that much to significantly improve her appearance. And stop acting so desperate. And look, I'm not saying that everyone has to chad the hell out and spend all day on looks maxing forums. That's not realistic. And sorry to be mean, but no amount of internet forums is going to turn a person like this girl into a 10 anyway. But there are things that will make her look significantly better, like a different hairstyle. Look how much better that looks.
Yeah.
Second would be getting rid of the acne. I know that's a lot more difficult for women than men, but too bad. Third, like the other girl, get braces. 4, never do this makeup style again. Men hate this. Personally, I don't think men...
She has the... Oh my god. Well, now her lips look like she's gonna go, like, do something sexual. She looks like Sabrina Carpenter. She's got that look going on.
That's a good comparison.
I know. The thing is, like, this is a lot of makeup, and I think that makeup should be used to enhance your natural features, not to
hide.
cover up so much to where you look like a completely different person. This is definitely on the heavy side, and it appears really nice on camera, but then in person, people know. They can just tell right off the bat.
Makeup that's a lie from Red Pillars. For example, this woman is wearing makeup in both cases.
Imagine going live for a video, having to put on a fake face of no makeup before you put on the extra layer of real makeup.
So she's wearing makeup in both.
Also, is she afraid of her forehead? I'm not gonna lie. What I'm seeing here, it looks like she has a small forehead. So, like, what are these clips doing? You're supposed to clip up your hair to... Whatever. It's Pokimane. It's Pokimane. Period. I don't have anything else to say.
Face of no makeup before you put on the extra layer of real makeup.
So she's wearing makeup in both examples, yet one is complimented and the other is not. What men actually don't like is this style of makeup that was popular in the 2000s. And it's the same for this girl too. Men like makeup that looks like you aren't wearing makeup. And last, going back to that prior girl and going into the next topic, I would say that she has a little bit of a double chin. If she's not fat, then I believe she can get liposuction or some sort of injection for that. Sometimes thin people have double chins, and the only way to fix that is surgery. Understand that facial aesthetics is the most important thing when it comes to physical attractiveness, so the investment might be worth it. But if she does those things, then we have a way more attractive person who will have a much easier time in life on tons of different metrics. Now, before we hit the next topic, I don't see why there's such a recoil on people trying to improve their appearances.
We've talked about maybe a neglect of the spiritual maxing, but what about even like book maxing?
I don't agree with it. You don't agree with the double chin thing? I don't see that often myself. I don't see skinny people having double chins. Like, I think maybe what he's talking about is the, like, when you look down and you go to look at your chest, that you get a double chin, but that's normal. That's pretty normal. I don't know. I guess I just haven't seen a skinny person with just like a natural double chin. It's only overweight people who have the double chin going on. Or you're old. Because my nana, you start to sag there when you get older. And she got a facelift, but she was like 67 or something when she decided to go do that. Or like 72 or something. Around that age range. 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". My bad. I didn't mean to. That was not on purpose, guys. That was not on purpose. My bad. My nana did look better after it, though. But she was still my nana. Like, she still looked like an older lady. It just looked nicer. She wasn't trying to look like a 30-year-old, which I think is where a lot of women go wrong when they're older. They try to make themselves look like a 20-year-old when they're like 45, and they just end up looking like a monster.
We've talked about maybe a neglect of the spiritual maxing, but what about even like book maxing? What about even cultivating loves for art or culture or things that yet again are not exactly physical, which make you interesting and will make girls find you interesting?
I get that people can be obsessive about the way they look, and we'll talk about that. But are you going to tell me that people should channel spirituality or become a master at a skill at the sacrifice of learning something much easier, like learning what clothes to wear or how to...
It's almost upsetting. Derailing for a second here. It's almost upsetting and frustrating how visually awesome the city looks. This is New York, by the way. When you see images like this, it's like the higher up you are, the better it looks. And then it has the reverse effect where the closer to the ground you get, the worse it looks. It's really frustrating.
Style your hair. Note that physically attractive people tend to have more friends, so that will give you better access to learning spirituality or a skill. Hell, most things that will make you more attractive are also things that are good for your health anyway, like losing weight, building muscle, fixing your posture, getting good sleep, chewing gum, brushing and flossing your teeth and cleaning your tongue, taking care of dust, animal hair, and pollen allergies, and not using recreational drugs because those will age you. And despite all the people making fun of Clavicular for hammering his face, which, yeah, that's retarded.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy. I'm not gonna deny it. Didn't he hurt himself real bad and had to go into the hospital for that?
But despite that, it's nice to see the strong return to form on how important attractiveness is in recent years. Probably the best example is that new One Piece series. I mean, holy shit, everyone hit the gym hard for that show.
Whoa.
Even the canonically fat girl who turns thin in the anime hit the fuck out of the gym in real life.
Whoa!
Welcome back to old Hollywood, where very few people on screen are ugly.
I'm getting a double jaw surgery in a couple weeks from now.
Oh.
So that's probably the furthest it goes, is plastic surgery.
To be clear, I think Clavicular is retarded for wanting plastic surgery. No
Yeah.
homo, but he's already there. He doesn't need any more looks maxing.
Then why are you doing that? You're a good-looking guy.
Well, you know, because I want to look better.
Look, I would get it if you looked like some mutant and you had some deformities and it was really messing up your life. But you're tall, muscular, you've got defined bone features. Why do you need to go further?
Well, you know, just because you're already doing okay or you're well off, is that a reason to quit? Is that a reason to sort of put the brakes on? That seems a little ridiculous.
Again, he's being stupid. However, that's not to say that things like pharmaceutical enhancements...
Yeah, this is just the guy who deals in extremes only. It's like if you're not going all the way 110%, you're going 0%, and that's a terrible fucking approach to have.
Plastic surgery don't
It's effectively making perfect the enemy of good.
improve people's appearances. This picture has been going around the internet recently. A little finasteride could have saved this guy's life.
This guy, okay. Balding, again, gonna happen to a lot of guys. I think what would help a lot, though, is just the scraggly facial hair, you know? Like, get rid of that. Groom yourself a bit more.
Commit to the new look, too. Like, this is the cheat code every single time. It's like once you hit this fucking point where the ing is at the end of that word, just cut out the ing and just go full bald, and then grow this out as the offset. Full Kratos.
Finasteride could have saved this guy's life. As for plastic surgery, it's the same thing with the makeup coat. Guys don't hate plastic surgery. The same guys who will shit on plastic surgery will go goon to Instagram models with like 5 obvious BBL surgeries. What people actually don't like is bad plastic surgery, like buccal fat removals. That shit should be outlawed.
You had to bring up Starlight.
I swear I haven't seen this video. Like we were just talking about this because people were showing her sneak peek of the boys on Twitter today. It was all over my feed, and so I really like that he brought this up today. I'm so glad. I'm so glad he did, because this is exactly the problem. What do you call it? What's it called? Buccal fat?
Like, is bad plastic surgery, like buccal fat removal.
Buccal fat. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. This jawline stuff, that's for the guys. She even actually had a nice jawline, but the thing that was charming about her was her little cheeks, like her chubby little cheeks. She looked younger. She looked youthful. She looked like the girl next door.
That one.
Or maybe like the babysitter that you had a crush on when you were like 10 years old or something. She's incredibly cute. Incredibly. It's way too bad what happened.
She was.
You can tell too. You can really see it here. How hollow she looks, and then the lips. I always get scared when I see a woman get lip injections, because I feel like that is the start. That's the start. It starts with the lips, and then they start injecting themselves all over the place, and they start thinking about getting a boob job, and yeah. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. Most white girls, if you just lose some weight, you're golden. You don't need to fuck up your face like this. Trust. Like, you already are winning by being a female. Not only that, when you lose weight, like, you're ahead of a lot of people. You're good. You're good.
That shit should be outlawed. Who is telling women that this looks good?
Yeah.
However, when it comes to things like nose surgeries from a competent surgeon, holy shit does it make a difference. Again, facial aesthetics is the most important thing when it comes to being attractive.
There was one chick where her nose was huge.
Oh, is that the follow alert?
Huge. I can understand that. I can understand a little bit of leeway there. It makes them more like racially ambiguous though, doesn't it? When they go and they change their noses.
That's why the other side gets mad when they do
When it
this.
comes to being attractive. Like, I don't see why this is some sort of big spiritual crisis to want to look better. I can see why there may have been philosophy around this in the past, but in these days, we have technology that will fix tons of these issues. The only place where I would say it's a real problem is if you have a plastic surgery addiction. Plastic surgery can be addictive for some people, so you gotta know when to leave the table and cash out. Otherwise, you'll end up looking like a disgusting mess. For example, if you get so much plastic surgery that you end up looking like the Wizard Liz by the time you're 26 years old, I'll be honest, I'm going to make fun of you. Because 26. I care and I don't want other people following in your footsteps. Now, as for the drugs, first, speak to a medical professional.
Young women, when they go and they get all this plastic surgery, they make themselves look so much older. You don't look 26. You look like a 35-year-old who's trying to look 26.
Very
also,
good way to put
what is
it.
this title? Oh god. She's speaking from experience?
And I will say that stuff that will heavily enhance your appearance, like Accutane or Finasteride, are not harmless. Accutane is for acne and Finasteride is to stop hair loss. So I will say that these drugs do have side effects. I'm not going to deny that. But I think the side effects of both are vastly overstated, unless you're a woman. Sorry, looks maxing for guys is much easier. But both of these drugs are decades old, they're well studied, and for the most part, they're incredibly safe if you work with a doctor and understand the limitations of the medication. I will say that if you want to weigh your options, there are probably lots of things that you do that are worse for you than Accutane.
Do you think looks maxing is harder for women though? I don't know if I agree with that. Yes, women could just make up over everything. Well, we have makeup, but then you can also
you
do
can
the
see
same
that it's
things
fake.
that men do, and you're not at risk for like losing your hair. Like for men, a lot of
I think what they're trying to say with this one is that all a dude essentially has to do is just work out and then they're done. Just work out and change their lifestyle, and then it's like a fucking magic spell where you go from one to the other. At that point, all you have to do is just not be a complete fucking lame, and then you're good. That's more or less, I think, what they mean.
Like their pride and
So
their
if you want to supercharge your fucking your physical build, you just go to the gym, and that's it.
self-esteem comes from their hair.
That's actually really
and
clean.
They're looked down upon if they go and get like a toupee or something.
I'd never
It's
do the
more
all white,
complex.
but that is actually pretty
Okay.
clean.
Like it's like for women, it's more of a like a daily routine type of thing. That's where we're going with this. Weight loss is harder for women in general. Okay, okay. Maybe he'll get into it some more. Let's keep.
He's got it on the
I
right
will say that
character
if you
too,
wanna weigh
because
your
Glaze
options, there are
power up
probably
mode does
lots of
keep
things
her
you
in
can
the
do
white
that are
hair.
worse for you than Accutane. Again, I think it's stupid to ignore appearance.
You ever see young Hillary, like pictures of younger Hillary?
She wasn't too bad.
Can I say something that's going to get everyone mad? I think she actually looked pretty good, young Hillary.
Not good enough to stop Bill Clinton from cheating on her.
I'm sorry, that clip wasn't necessary. I just hate Hillary Clinton, and I thought the statement was funny. Now, as for a final point from Clav, I actually think at this moment, he was spot on.
I'm saying for young I'm saying for young men to succeed, they need to put themselves in the forefront, and all the other stuff about, you know, society, the direction it's taking, that needs to take a back seat for their individual struggle, because they're really not doing well. Men are doing worse than they ever have, in almost every metric. And the only way to overcome that is just focusing on oneself to the maximum. And there's no place for any of the stuff that, you know, you're talking about in that mentality.
He's right. If you're 18 and your life isn't going well, then doom-scrolling politics on the internet is not going to help you. And also, your opinions for society at large aren't particularly useful if you don't have your shit together. I didn't show it, but Michael Knowles spends so much effort pushing.
I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. Like, solve it on an individual level, and if you get enough men who solve it on an individual level, then it becomes a societal one, and then they'll get off their their fat asses and do something about how they feel about other things relating to society and politics. I see.
Back on this sentiment from Clav. However, this is
Look
exactly
good,
what
feel
Jordan
good.
Peterson was saying 10
Fight
years
well.
ago, before his daughter destroyed his reputation. If you're asking how to create political change and make society better, then understand at 18, you don't have the power to change shit. Build yourself up, learn more about the world, and then you can help turn where you live into a better place.
Interesting,
Anyway,
that's Blue
it's time for some
Beetle.
nuance. I mentioned before that I really don't like Clavicular. There's a number of reasons for why, but for this last part, I want to ignore most of the drama and just focus on the stuff that's in my area of expertise.
I don't really like to talk on any issues I don't have too much authority on.
Right, that's a very mature thing to say.
Is Blue
Honestly,
Beetle
I
on
don't think
Glay
he's
a
stupid.
thing?
However, what I do think is that he's promoting some horrendously dangerous behaviors to a lot of people unnecessarily, not because he's a looks maxer, but because he's a drug addict looking for an excuse to use.
Yeah, exactly what we mentioned earlier. Like all the stuff I see about him on Twitter is just trash. It's utter trash. And it's gonna fuck up his life. He's already talking about getting surgery on his face. He does drugs. He shoots animals. Like, what the fuck? He surrounds himself with whores. What is this? He's acting like those NFL players or those rappers. And you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. He's just acting extremely ghetto and trashy, and I hate to see it.
You do meth.
Yeah, I haven't done meth in 2 weeks, but I
2 weeks. He
do
said that
meth.
like that was a big
Stimulants
deal.
cause appetite suppressants. I'm trying to maintain my leanness, because the leaner you are, the more angular your face. And while I do use GLP-1s, sometimes that's not enough.
Do you think Clavicular is on his way to becoming the best
I didn't even
looking
know.
lolcow? I think we'll keep an eye on him. But yes, he's already there.
I didn't even know he was doing
Kinda
that too.
there.
That's
I wouldn't say he's
insane.
there just yet, but I'm getting the feeling that he's falling down that hole. I think he's on his way to becoming that. Yikes.
To suppress my appetite, so I need to, rely on stimulants.
What? I mean, you could just not be a pussy and deal with being a little bit hungry. You know you're telling your audience to follow in your footsteps, right?
He doesn't care
advocate
about that.
Against stimulants. I don't think that kids should be prescribed Adderall at the ages they are.
Yeah.
I think that people are going to misuse their stimulant prescription more than not. And
Like
more cases
you.
than not. So I'm very against it. I'm just open with everything that I do. I don't openly advocate for anyone to do this, right? I think a lot more people are going to wind up fucking themselves over.
Like you.
Screwing themselves over if they are to go this route rather than, you know, if they were to decide, you know, to stay natural.
Oh, right. So this guy's a real philosopher. He's a real do as I say, not as I do type of guy. Gee, no one's ever
Yeah.
thought of that before. Clav, you know that doesn't matter, right? People aren't going to listen to you saying, yeah, don't do this thing that I did that totally worked. It's bad for you. That's not how people behave. For example, you have Trainwreck out here who profited like hundreds of millions of dollars by promoting gambling on his stream. But don't worry, guys. Trainwreck said that gambling is bad for you.
Do not gamble. Do not start. Gambling is entertainment and entertainment only. You won't break even. You won't win. You won't do any of that. Do you understand? You will only go into debt and ruin your fucking life. I do this because I fucking love it. I do it all the time. It's entertainment for people who can afford it. And that's it. You will lose.
Guys, learn human psychology. If you're watching Trainwreck's stream, you're probably a gambling addict. I hate gambling, so why would I be entertained by some loser playing slots? More importantly, what gambling addict doesn't know it's bad for them? Of course they know it's bad. They can't stop, and watching people gamble triggers them to use, just like an alcoholic early in recovery gets triggered by watching people drink. I'm almost certain that Trainwreck just said that to cover his ass, and not because he genuinely has empathy for addicts. Though, honestly, if addicts are going to do stupid shit, that's their choice, I guess. I really don't have a lot of sympathy for people who are choosing to continue their pathological behaviors. But outside of that, what Clavicular is actually doing here is giving meth heads a justification for using.
If you say don't do what I'm doing, why are you doing it?
Because I have enough willpower to be able to taper off of meth.
You're going to tell me that you don't have enough willpower to deal with a little bit of hunger, but you do have enough willpower to taper off addictive drugs? This is ridiculous cope. Every addict says, but I can control it when they do drugs.
He's
And
literally in the
because
hospital
he's
right
young
now because he couldn't control it.
Probably is able to limit his intake, but it won't always be like that.
Your social experience in school, though, how was that?
What age range are we talking about?
I guess like right around 13, 14 is when you
Well, that would have been during the pandemic, so I was in online school.
Wow, I did not realize how young 19 was until he said he was like 14 during COVID. He also started taking testosterone around that time that he bought off the...
Does anyone feel old after that? Ouch. Kind of forgot about that. I kind of forgot about COVID, to be honest.
It's such a slippery slope with drugs. ... have a guy in our DND party who is trying to get us all to do cocaine with him next session.
What? If you have a bad gut feeling, don't do it. You know, don't do it. But, you know, my dad, he's a pretty good guy. He's done every single drug out there except for meth. That was where he drew the line. I would say he turned out okay. I would recommend against doing it, but I don't know. I'm a bit more forgiving, I suppose. Just don't lose yourself in it. You should shame your friend, actually. You should say, like, dude, I'm really not into that. Did he do crocodile? I don't even know if crocodile was like a thing when he was younger. My dad, okay, I'll tell you about my dad. When my dad was younger, my dad was really into the punk stuff, the punk scene. And so he like pierced his own nipple, shaved his head, except for like one string of hair, which hung right in between his eyes into his nose. He would like couch hop from friend to friend. Him and my uncle, my uncle was the errand boy. He was the nerdy boy who got bullied into running errands for all the cool kids, right? And so they sent my uncle off to go pick up some pizzas and beer. He went and got the beer and then proceeded to hit a cyclist. He gave the cyclist beer as an apology, and they just shook it off, and he came back. So what I'm trying to say is that my dad has done some questionable things in his youth, but he turned out okay. He tried things once, understood the repercussions of if he were to become addicted to things like that. So, you know, just if you feel it in your gut that you shouldn't do something and that you don't have the willpower to stop doing it, don't do it, right? Don't do it. But I understand that peer pressure is a huge factor in these things. Just, you know, have fun with your friends, be safe, make sure you're surrounded by people that care about you and will take care of you at the end of the day. I sympathize with Clav because young white men like him had to grow up in BS.
Bullshit.
I think this is an interesting case study, I guess you could say, right? I mean, we're watching someone who went through... He's young and in the system, and he's becoming an influencer. Well, he is.
I'm not denying the talking point in general. I am denying that it played a factor with this fucking guy.
An influencer, but he's growing in popularity, and we'll see if it chews him up and spits him out, or if he pushes through. I think it's interesting to watch. I just don't like, again, what I see so far. I think promoting men, you know, getting healthier and working on their trying to become more attractive, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But it's just the way he's going about it, I don't like. You have a good feeling about him? You do? All right, well, I hope you're right. I do. I
Jesus
really do.
Christ,
I don't
that
want
aged
him
poorly,
to crash and
whoever
burn,
that was.
by the way. I don't want that. I guess if he were to crash and burn, maybe, you know, hitting rock bottom will propel him to change some of his behaviors. But I don't want that. I don't want that for him. I just don't think he's pushing a strong enough message. I don't think he's going about it the right way. He's playing the system, but he's playing the game. He's playing the game. I don't feel like he's pushing back enough himself. Like, he's preaching it, but he's not living it enough, in my opinion.
Wait, did
I did not realize how young 19
on.
was until he said he was like 14
I think I
during
fucking
COVID. He
solo
also started
peeped by
taking
mistake,
testosterone around that time
which I
that
do
he
not
bought
want
off
to
the
do.
internet. So he might have been a victim of the Keffel-sponsored drug trafficking website for transgender kids. Also, Keffel's never went to prison for that. I believe nobody got in trouble for it.
Of
By
course
the way,
not.
this guy goes on testosterone for 5 years for the extreme glory of being able to bench 135 pounds.
Get it, 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 get it. No. Almost. Fuck. What's that?
For context, this was clipped for Twitter out of context to make him look worse, but I believe he benched it 7 times, not twice. Still, holy shit, you are really weak for a guy who's on steroids. I mean, Mumdani is not that far behind you. It doesn't take that much work for a guy to bench over 135 without steroids.
Well, I don't know. I kind of get what he's saying. I get it with the steroid argument, but at least he's working out, right? You gotta start
Not
somewhere,
the same.
right?
Not the same when you're
Took me a
fucking
while
cheating.
with just the bar, you know? The bar is 45 pounds. You know? It's like half my weight, so, you know, you gotta start somewhere. I'm also a woman, yeah, that's true, I know.
No possible way he is taking proper test and can't do 135. No way.
No way. Some people just, they're not lifters. They don't.
I do want a tangent on this for a second because some guys think they need to gym cell for like 2 hours a day to build muscle. That's not necessary. For one, from a looks maxing perspective, most women hate the super muscular look. Second, you can get a pretty nice physique and lift pretty heavy amounts of weight after some time by doing a total body workout with 2 sets of 6 to 8 reps per exercise with a 1 to 2 minute break in between.
Okay. Think before you sleep knows some things, I suppose. Okay, all right. Write that down.
And be in and out of the gym in around 30 minutes, depending on how crowded it is. Do it 3 times a week. And this will build your muscle at least until you are maximally attractive to women. So this is not horrendous amounts of work, and unless lifting weights is an extreme hobby of yours, you should not be doing these crazy long workouts. There needs to be less discussion of what Mr. Olympia is doing and more discussion about what the most time-efficient thing to do is, especially for people who are nowhere near their genetic potential. You can get away with a lot if you aren't close to maxing out. But also, believe it or not, these are not the only drugs that Clav uses. And of course, he's got a moral cope for it.
I don't really think that people should be Drinking and doing recreationally for the most part, and I know that would appear super hypocritical because I do it a good amount, but it's just something that I utilize for my work, for my content, because I can't really like function around people too well. Or
This
be
guy
super
is a pussy.
entertaining, in my sober state. I think.
Using drugs to manage emotions is key behavior of addicts. That's like the #1 reason that people can't quit drugs. Let me just go on another self-improvement tangent here, because a lot of kids who are in school during COVID, like Clavicular was, have extreme levels of social anxiety, and you do not need drugs to solve this problem. You need meditation. And what I mean by that is that to get rid of any anxiety issues, all you have to do is learn how to bring your mind away from whatever thoughts are causing you the anxiety. If you can distract yourself with something else and stay focused on that for an extended period of time, the anxiety will go away, and when you get good at that, you will no longer have anxiety issues. Anxiety is actually an incredibly simple problem to solve. You know, maybe delete TikTok off your phone if you want to learn how to maintain focus for long periods of time. But like I said, make no mistake, Clav is an intense drug addict, and he is just coping.
The worst time I got exposed for my .org threads is I used to document literally everything I did back in 2024 at work. And someone sent all my .org threads to one of my managers about me being drunk pretty much every single day, me constantly being high on blow at work all the time, just outlining all my degeneracies, how I was basically slaying. The thing is, I was so good at my job.
Did he just say slaying?
Yes. That I could do that.
This guy thinks everything that's wrong with him is him winning.
Right, so he was frequently doing drugs, but he was able to do them at work, so I'll wait for him to call himself a functional addict. But I think you guys get my point. My primary issue is not the looks-maxing ideology that made him popular. It's the fact that he's choosing incredibly short-term and dangerous solutions to his problems, and then promoting them to tons of people. And worse, he's doing those things to achieve success and results that he could easily achieve naturally. Because the reality is that becoming successful is the part that's simple, especially in terms of social media. Lots of people go viral and then flame out minutes later like the Haktua chick. The hard part is sustained success. The hard part is taking these little victories and turning them into a 10 or a 20-year career or longer. But everything Clavicular is doing is short term.
I want to see a redemption arc. I want to see a Clavicular redemption arc. It's
I don't.
though, because he's just surrounding himself with such shit people. It's killing me.
I mean by that is that the odds of him having a catastrophic downfall or the odds of him experiencing heavy complications from drug addiction is very high.
Yeah.
The way you
So high that
sustain
they just
success and
happened.
not become one of those losers who eventually blames the algorithm for low views the minute that people start getting bored of them is to take the long route that is slow and boring, but provided that you take the time to learn and understand the principles of success in your market, it will result in explosive growth once you've paid your dues. A decent book that lists a lot of the principles of sustained success, it's called Good to Great. You'll do a lot better listening to people who have been successful for a while than to listen to someone whose game plan is to take a bunch of chemicals that are very likely to destroy your life with addiction or cause you to die young from an overdose. Anyway, thanks for watching.
The
Follow me on Twitter, and
foreshadowing
I'll
is
see you in the next
crazy with him
video.
saying that.
Thank you for the video. That was a good video. I'm glad. Glad he talked about the pros and the cons. I feel like he gives a very fair outlook on these things. I like listening to him. Someone called him AI earlier. He's not AI, as far as I'm aware.
His talk,
He
his
just talks
speech
like that.
cadence,
Very
yeah, I can see why they
monotone.
think that.
Doesn't sound super emotional.
He sounds
like I
robotic,
do,
but it's his
yeah.
thing.
Hope you guys like that video. I guess Clavicular is just someone to keep an eye on, you know, someone to watch. He is a very successful
Keep an eye on that
content
hospital
creator,
bill.
and he is this, you know, for younger people, they're looking at him and being influenced by him. So, a little bit of a scary thought though. I also am new to the content creation space, so I haven't really seen someone who has started good and then got really bad. I haven't really watched someone's journey like that, where they've started good with a lot of popularity and influence in the content creator space, in the streamer space, and then they just like hit rock bottom and disappeared in regards to male content creators. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. What I have seen is people like PewDiePie or like Markiplier, where they start off just like really nerdy and timid, and then they win in the end. To me, this is a very interesting thing to observe, is to watch someone start so high and then sink. Like I feel like he's on the downfall right now, and I'm watching his downward trend. Like he's becoming like lolcow material. Like I said, he might be the most attractive lolcow. I've been learning a lot about lolcows. Where's my powder lolcow arc? Well, let's hope that never happens. And
Not to
you
say
have to
we do
actually
not
fall
want
to be a
one.
lolcow. I feel like he's on the downward trend though. Like I do. I feel like he started so high up, and now because of his behavior, he's like going down, down, down. Like people are going to start hating him more than liking what he's pushing.
True.
Or his messaging. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it.
I'm dying, help! I'm dying! This mother man, I'm dying! Heal me, mother.
God, I hate that guy. I hate that guy, and I used to be that guy. I was that guy. Most of my life playing World of Warcraft, I played as a warlock, and I was raid leader, and I was that guy. And so now that I'm coming back, I noticed that there aren't any healers. I don't know what the fuck happened with them. Maybe that guy scared them off. And so I decided to step up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start healing. And you know what happens? I finally understand what it's like. And what it's like is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So again, I'm new at this, right? I just started. I'm not really good or anything like that, but let me explain to you why all healers, and almost every single one of them, is really bad at moving out of stuff, is really bad at talking on Ventrilo, Discord, is really bad at moving around. It's almost like they're blind. And the answer is they are. They absolutely are. Okay, this is where my life is at. This is where I live. Other people live in the game. Other people live in Azeroth. Other people are actually focusing on the mechanics, right? I focus on this shit. This is my life now. This right here. I'm like the janitor. I'm cleaning up after other people's mess. And
that's exactly
right.
right.
Okay, well, maybe it's because I'm new. And maybe it's because, you know...
The video game stops being everything on the screen and 100% just starts being this one little spot right here.
It takes a little while to get adjusted to the actual game. But I talked with other healers and no, like, this is literally where they're at as well. Like, this is World of Warcraft for me now. It's watching health bars go up and down.
Yep.
That's it. Like, you don't get to see the sights. You don't even know in what distance you're in. Like, everything is like a blur. And somehow muscle memory just manages to move you around a little bit. And so, listen, do you know how healers actually know what the fuck is going on? by sound. I'm not even kidding. It's literally by sound. Like you have an add-on that goes bang, and you know like some shit is going to go down. Or you have like the raid leader spurting out and it's like, oh, move to the circle, and they move. When you start realizing that your healers are blind, you actually manage to raid it properly. Now I understand why my guild was successful, because I was literally talking on Ventrilo constantly about what people should do. And so I was unironically helping the healers keep themselves alive so that they can keep everyone else alive. Goodness gracious, I'm not making it up. I'm definitely not. And the reason they move so slow, right? Like picture this, you're hovering your mouse, you know, doing your little healing here and there. And then suddenly you have to move. Like some shit happens and you gotta move. It will take time for you to actually move the mouse all the way to the game, figure out what the fuck is going on and where you're supposed to go. The way that you basically manage to know what to do is kind of like a blind cat in an apartment. I don't know like how many of you actually have one of those, but they basically like memorize the environment. Like, they have a level of spatial awareness like that chick from Avatar that can't see. I'm not kidding. Again, like maybe there are some healers that have the ability to actually watch the fucking game while playing. I can't. I definitely can't. And the healers
It's because you're new.
Can't either. So literally what you do is you're constantly watching these little boxes, right? And every now and then you're looking at the screen and looking like what the fuck is going on. And then you're going back to the boxes. And the thing is like if you look at the screen for way too long, when you look back at the boxes, you notice the huddle. And then you start panic killing. Then you start like healing people, I'm dying, what are you doing? And it's like, oh my fucking god. And the interesting thing, right, is that you can't even talk. It's like you're focused on this shit, right? Because like if a DPSer drops his rotation, oh, he goes down in the damage meter, and then you know like the DPS jazz, they measure cocks at the end of the fight, and they say, I'm number 1, oh, I'm number 2, you know? That's what they do, right? And if they fail, oh, they're not number 1, they're number 3. Great. You know what happens when I fail? People die. People fucking die. And they squirt up, and they drop from the
That's how it feels to be the tank too, to be fair.
Allow people to die. And so you
Like if the healer is the mom of the team, the tank is the dad.
And you have to pick and choose, right? So you usually save the other guy, and the guy that you didn't save, healer, are you asleep? Are you asleep? Healer, and I feel like strangulating him, okay? I feel like choking him. I'm glad I'm not in the UK because my government didn't ban choking pornography, but like seriously, like, you go through this a couple of times and it becomes a pattern, right? And you start to understand, it's like, no, I'm not the fucking sleepy moron. Like, something must have happened.
I'm not fucking a sleepy moron.
When people move around, that's when it pisses me off the most, right? Because, like, normally, in most fights, you don't have to move around that much. Unless there's a mechanic that forces you to move. But there are certain fights where you literally do not have to move. But people move regardless, right? So you're sitting there and you're starting to heal, like you're mentally mapping where everyone is. And then when you want to cast a heal on a retard, he's not dead anymore. It's like, good luck finding him. And it's like, motherfucker, if you want to die, you know, like, fine. Fine, you just don't do that. Or, you know, like sometimes someone else comes next to you that you didn't know he was there. And you're like, what the fuck, why is this guy here? And it's like, what? Why are you moving if you're not supposed to? Just fucking sit. To be honest, like, the tank understands this, right? Because, like, if a tank starts moving around without reason, everyone bitches and whines, like, moving the boss around, right? So, like, he's not supposed to do that.
We are the other class that understands all of this.
Seeing the DPS do what they're asking the tank not to do is very annoying, yes. Very fucking frustrating. I know it's not just World of Warcraft, it's like Guild Wars 2. It's got like the same shit.
It's everything with classes.
Because I don't know why, but like my video recorder like drops breaks for some reason. Like if I live stream, it's fine, but if I record, it's bad. But seriously, I have more compassion for healers. That doesn't mean that I excuse them, by the way. No, like if you fail, you fail. Like you gotta step up. Right? Like if you're healing, you need to do a proper job. But I can definitely understand why so many fucking people hate it. Right? Because like in the beginning, I generally didn't get it. Because like in League of Legends, I like to heal. I like to heal in Overwatch. Like I like to heal in many games. It's not. But like when you actually heal in World of Warcraft, it stops being World of Warcraft. It starts being World of Grid. world of little boxes and very angry people. They spurred out so fucking hard. You're not allowed to fail. You're not allowed to fail. You do a Mythic 12 plus ski, right? Don't keep pushing. That's what the people call it now, you know? Type shit. Anyway, see, I'm learning the language now. Holy fuck, I'm playing a game, I'm learning. Anyway, someone died. Just like one person died. That's it. They quit. And it's like, you just fucking hell, it was like, let's give it a why. Wasn't given a fucking life, and you died because you took what you were supposed to, or you didn't fucking kick them off that you were supposed to kick. No, unacceptable. He leaves. It's like, goodness me, how are people supposed to learn? You know, like, this is the thing, like, I keep trying to explain to one, it's like, listen, bitch, I just installed the game 2 weeks ago, and 1 week was leveling, and Blizzard didn't teach me jack shit while leveling, right? How am I supposed to know if I don't get any practice, and how can I get practice if you spurg out the moment like, one of you fucking dies?
This video's great.
I'm done with the rant, but it's fun. It's fun. I will say this, you know, it's like playing a new game. Someone should actually make a game of this, you know, like a single player game where you just have the boxes and you click on them, and it's like bars go down, bars go up.
It probably exists.
Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comments.
It probably already exists. It's a great video. Fucking send this to the guys. Actually, let's stay with V. I might log off at the top of the hour
I gotta
to go
say,
deal with food.
I truly dislike Scarlett Johansson. Not as an actress, as a person. Because she is the ultimate hypocrite, and she has the exact same mentality which other people that destroyed Hollywood have. And that mentality is the kicking of the ladder type of thinking, where she started movies naked. She wasn't taken advantage of because she was an adult. She signed contracts, and in return she managed to become a very famous millionaire. She lives in luxuries that you and I can only dream of. She has connections that you and I will never be able to have. And once she got to that point, and once she managed to become obscenely wealthy, she has decided that it's actually not okay for the movie industry to star sexy women, and she's basically kicking the ladder down for all the other girls. This is something that Peter Dinklage also did, and it's also why I dislike him as well.
He did that for dwarves.
But listen to what she's saying, right? So she gave an interview. She's basically saying that the early 2000s were...
Really appreciate how, for all the outrage there is around the N-word and stuff like that, N-word equivalents, it's actually tiny people that have all of the fucking... Or actually, tiny people and gays. They're on the same level where every single term there is to describe them always sounds like an insult by default. It's actually fucking great.
A really harsh time to be a young woman in Hollywood. So people like her, they genuinely do not care about the industry when it comes to them making profits. And so she doesn't really explain like how she is supposed to get paid, or how the camera crew is supposed to get paid, or how everyone is supposed to get paid if the movie doesn't
Let's see what the weekly is.
Like she is not complex enough in order to think about the greater picture. She just cares about how the actors are treated, and she believes that Hollywood will always print money. Like they just manufacture wealth, and they're the ones that redistribute the wealth amongst the actors. And so, if, you know, like casting ugly women in movies is doable, then they should do it, even though the movie ends up selling less tickets. Just look at Borderlands, for example, and you know what I mean. But again, like, she doesn't care about the audience at all. Like, she doesn't care about your enjoyment at all. Like, all she cares about is herself, which is incredibly selfish. But anyway, as she's saying is that in the early 2000s, it was a really harsh time to be a young woman in Hollywood. Oh, goodness gracious. The Lost in Translation star said that during that period, it was socially acceptable for female actors to be pulled apart for how they looked. I mean, obviously, you know, and that was the time when Hollywood was actually a cultural juggernaut, and everybody was looking at least once a month to see which movies are coming out. And by the way, like, other nations still do this, right? Like, Japan still casts women based on looks. China still casts women based on looks. I mean, my God, India. Holy shit. Like, have you seen average Indian women? And have you seen what Bollywood is casting, right? Because, like, those people actually care about their trade. Like they understand that if you're asking a person to pay money, you need to show an individual, a superstar, that is worth paying money to see. If you're going to just cast, like, every average fat woman, why would people pay for that? Like, they can literally go on the streets and see it. And by the way, like, I'm not saying that every single movie needs to have superstars. Like, some movies don't. But the idea that no movie should start casting women that are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous is retarded, right? And not to mention, when it comes to the male cast, they still have, like, shirtless guys and muscular dudes and everything like that. So they still cast, like, guys based on their looks. And not to mention, like, a lot of men, they have to put a lot of effort in order to get casted. I mean, Keanu Reeves, when he did The Matrix, he actually had to study martial arts for 2 years, right? This is part of acting. Like, you need to look the part. And so I don't understand, like, why she's bitching about it. Like, yes, like, the way an actor looks is part of the job. Like, it's literally why you're being paid millions of dollars. It's absolutely insane to believe that this is not the case. And you can look
decapitation.
at the movie industry. It's not doing better ever since they decided to, you know, have representation and regulation rather than just cast the most beautiful people that America has to offer.
Enemies don't enter incapacitation and cannot be executed. All enemy health is reduced.
Millions of dollars. It's supposed
Interesting.
To be tough. It's supposed to be tough. Like, how much do you think? Okay, if it's not tough, shouldn't you be paid less? Like, if it's a job that literally the average person can do, shouldn't you be paid the amount that an average person makes then? Seriously, am I the only one that gets upset when I hear these people talk? There was a lot of place on how women look. What was offered at the time for women my age, as far as acting roles of opportunity, was much slimmer than it is now. Well, I mean, obviously, right? Because now you have, like, this whole idea of remaking movies and gender swapping every single character. Like, for example, Terminator, right? Like, they gender swapped John Connor. Was that a better movie for it? I mean, was it more popular than the original Terminator? I mean, they did the thing, right? Like, and some chick got paid, I guess. Too bad everyone else got laid off after it, because, like, they're not going to make a new Terminator movie anytime soon. Star Wars, right? Like, they gender swapped Luke Skywalker. Did that movie fare better? Like, is it a better thing that they did that? Is, you know, like, do people in China appreciate the new Star Wars movies? Because I'm telling you, they appreciated the previous ones. Johansson added that there were much more empowering roles. Well, what the fuck does empowering even mean? Like, they're using these words that mean nothing. Like, what? So, like, a woman is charging herself like Green Lantern from the Lantern of Oa when she watches a fucking movie? Like, you need fiction in order to empower yourself? What is it with this mental retardation? Like, who came up with it? When can we have an audit? The fuck does empowering mean? It's a movie. You have some people paid to dance like monkeys. Other people clap because they enjoy what they're seeing. That's literally it. There's no empowering. It's fucking Hollywood, okay? Like, stop it with the fart sniffing. Empowered. Like, imagine how pathetic it is to believe that human beings need to be empowered not from their families, not from their circle of friends, not from their communities, not from religion. No. They need to be empowered from watching a Disney flick. With, you know, like, fictional superheroes and shit. And not to mention, do you know, like, the harm that this could potentially do? Because, like, I remember when I was younger, I was very introverted, barely got out of my house, playing World of Warcraft all the time, and I grew up with American TV shows, right? Xena, Warrior Princess, what else? Buffy, Vampire Slayer. And I was going to law school, and there was like this judge, a female judge. She basically said how terrorized she was because she was presiding over a case that deals with the mafia. And she came home and found her home a wreck and her dogs beat. And she was very scared. And I was like, well, why doesn't she learn karate? And everyone in the class like laughed at me and looked like I'm an imbecile. And that's when I realized, oh, like the American shows, yeah, okay, like they have absolutely nothing to do with reality. And that's pretty much it. Like if men would believe that women are empowered, then when they would hear a story that the woman is in danger, it's like, well, why doesn't she take care of herself then, right? Like if I hear that the guy, you know, got home and found his house rabid, I'm like, well, why don't you buy a gun? You know, why don't you buy a weapon? Like that's the normal question that you'd ask, right? But if you hear that a woman is like that, well, then you feel a different level of concern, which again you shouldn't feel if you believe that women are empowered. But again, like this whole ideology, this whole mental retardation is like the Schrödinger empowerment, right? Like sometimes they're victims, other times they're extremely powerful and can dominate entire corporations. Johansson found solace from typecasting, taking a break from Hollywood, who taught her to wait for the right role rather than to give in pressure to work constantly. Again, look how pampered this woman is, right? And we're supposed to give a shit about her feelings and stuff. It's like as if we're her psychologist, or as if we're her family member. And I don't understand like how America got bamboozled by celebrities. It's almost like a lot. I remember back in the day when celebrities were pushing leftist ideology, and
they
everyone
still
was
are.
like, "Oh my goodness, she's such a victim. Oh, look at Johnny Depp's wife. Oh, she's a millionaire. She's a fucking millionaire. Who fucking cares? Like, don't you have family members with real problems? Like, don't you care about them? Have you not had orphans in your country? Like, well, why would you care about a fucking millionaire who has the money to buy as many psychologists and as many doctors and whatever they need?" Anyway, she continued that every actor feels like that because it's so competitive, and I think once you do have the spotlight, you want to keep it on you. I mean, that's the instinct. Yeah, but see, like, the problem with her is that she wants to keep the spotlight on her. She wants to hog the spotlight. Like, she doesn't want any other sexy women to star in Hollywood movies. Because, like, she's against sexism now and shit like that. And for her, casting a woman with big tits, that's sexism. And so, yeah, no, seriously, as long as Hollywood keeps embracing people like this, and they keep embracing this mentality, they will get dominated by anime. They will get dominated by Chinese shit. They will get dominated by South Korean TV shows. They will get dominated by literally anyone else on the planet.
This would have been the perfect run to take my fucking heavy on. In hindsight, I was thinking about it and I hesitated. I should have just brought my heavy.
The actors. No, like they're literally about making a product that is to be sold for people so that they can get entertained. That's it. Any type of other interpretation of what the movie is wrong. It's financially wrong, and it's not sustainable. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.
Thought it was still alive. Are we good? Okay, we're good.
Stay close and sharp.
Oh, is this another one? Fucking Brian Shapiro.
Anti-racist expert exposed by his own race. This sounds so perfectly up my alley. telling you guys, Warren Smith is one of my favorite channels. I love this channel.
What this was, Brian tried to find
Yep.
the best anti-racist expert he could find, and this was it. He's a nice guy, but this got crazy.
I have a quick challenge for you. Tell me about your American prison system and who's in it.
And okay, we would need to answer the question, why is the crime statistics what it is? Why does that reflect? Because that's what's going to lead to the prison makeup.
We're faced with this number of 15% of the population is committing 50% of the crime.
Largely, it's going to be socioeconomic. I also think there's a cultural component, but I think those probably
Please explain that to me when you say that. I want to be
Sure.
clear on what you just said.
That concept sets people off.
If you have a culture
That's just the data.
That
Unfortunately, that doesn't mean everybody does it, right? But the data shows that there's a the data is the data. What are you gonna do about it? You know.
romanticizes, let's say, Italians immigrating.
The
to
idea that we shouldn't contend with the data because it makes us uncomfortable is retarded.
It is.
They glorify gangster lifestyle, the mafia lifestyle. The young boys in that specific neighborhood look up to the gangsters. They have everything. We saw it in Goodfellas.
Far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
The guys who dress a certain way seem to have everything.
To me, being a gangster was better than being president of the United States.
You look up to them, you're more likely to act out their pattern.
Could this be a factor that we're seeing from something like hip-hop music that
Absolutely.
doesn't always glorify crime, but I think it
9
could
times
there
out of
be
10 they
objective
do.
data that we could pull from to say that there does seem to be a reflection of gang culture and things that could lead to crime.
That actually, that is one of the most false narratives there is.
How is that false? That you're going to act
It's objectively
out
true.
things that influence you.
When you are policing a community separately, differently, aggressively, you're going to
Oh
put
God, this
more
guy's
people
retarded.
from that community in the justice criminal system.
You would expect people from that community to be in the criminal justice system at a higher rate if that community is 15% of the population committing 50% of the crime.
Of course.
To then say, well, since a person dresses a certain way, listens to a certain music, they must be involved in gang culture.
Just because you emulate hip-hop style doesn't mean you're in a gang. But are you disputing that gang culture is glorified in hip-hop?
Right, but 15% of the population is committing approximately 50% of the crime, regardless of rap.
And they are policed harder and with judges and jury systems
That are letting them go.
justification
You
for saying,
fucking
"I'm going to
retard."
punish you more and give you longer sentences when I come into your community.
Actually, I don't even know if that's true.
It's not.
I wonder if Warren will touch on that. I don't even know if that is actually a true claim.
It's definitely
And
not.
There's also lacking understanding of the community that you're in. Just because I walk a certain way, because I dress a certain way, you're automatically tying me to something, a crime?
Why do you
Nobody
believe
said that.
people of certain skin colors are punished under the law more extensively? You could make an argument, a socioeconomic argument, but that concept would apply across the board regardless of skin color. Lil Wayne gets arrested. He's very wealthy. He can afford a better lawyer. There are fair criticisms to be had about that, but that's not indicative of racism.
I think
And even
it is
he
that
turns
you're-
that
you're
notion
making a
down
huge
himself.
Judgment on somebody because they're dressing different than you.
Yes, I am.
We judge people based on multiple factors: how they dress, how they speak, how they hold
I
themselves.
love Warren, dude.
Yeah, and I personally
He's a
believe in
legend.
my definition that when you judge an entire group,
But I'm not judging an entire group. I'm actually judging the individual.
Yeah, like for
I was gonna say,
for
that
instance,
motherfucker right
we saw that
there,
guy
that's
in
who
that
I'm
video,
judging.
right? The guy with the trench coat and the Demon Slayer shirt. What do you think are the odds that he's a weeb? Like, if you had to guess, like, what are the odds that he's a weeb with the trench coat and the Demon Slayer shirt? Pretty fucking high, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, is that bad of you for making that calculation? It's the same thing with the rap thing. It's the same thing. It has nothing to do with race. It's the same pattern that you would assume that if a person dresses a specific way, that you could assume that like they could be up to no good. That's just how it is. It's because of the culture that is around it, right?
a bigoted view, and that
But
was
how
my
am I judging an entire race of
You're
people?
making a
I'm
judgment
judging
about.
on a
You're
meme.
making.
It's a meme.
Okay, but you're making a judgment about somebody because of the way they dress, because they don't dress like you. But I want
Somebody, not all
We
of them.
just saw this happen in Texas, where
Oh yeah.
whites will not vote for the most qualified person.
That candidate is
what?
most
Fucking-
qualified to you. That's
Wait,
subjective.
what?
Other people.
Are you fucking retarded?
What? Like, What is that argument?
People don't see it the way you see it doesn't mean they're racist.
You know, I
Thanks so
don't
much,
really
Heavy
want to go
Storm.
down that
Thank you.
rabbit hole talking about
How
Donald
is
Trump.
that not a racist statement?
He
that
could
you
have let
just
both
made?
of America.
Hold on a second. Warren is saying that you just made a racist statement. I
Yeah,
disagree.
if I were to say black people don't vote for the smartest candidate, that would be racist. I'm making a judgment about an entire race of people under Brian's definition.
Yep.
But when you do it, it's not
How do
racist.
you not see when a black person is qualified and whites won't vote for him? But on the other end, blacks have voted
Yeah,
for
what the fuck?
whatever
Hang on.
has
Can we
been
dig into that?
And he starts to divert on this and does not respond to that
He
question.
hasn't responded to anything you
But is that
said.
statement racist?
Great job,
I didn't get a
Warren.
response to my question.
Is my statement racist or is
Yeah,
yours?
I'm not. I don't think you're a racist person. I'm just trying to point out the hypocrisy around the definition.
And once again, racism is who has the power.
And now we
Yeah,
enter
see, there it
critical.
is. There it is. Now they fucking redefined it because he got pinned. He got completely pinned. to,
Rules
like,
for thee,
they were
not for
using
me.
The definition that they had already established, which is what Warren was talking about, like, you know, the definition of racism that they were using. And he got pinned to that definition, so now he's redefining it.
Race theory. You can't be racist against someone of a skin color because that skin color, well, they're in power.
This is
Right.
really one of those things.
And that rule will go right out the
only
fucking
thing
window if the
that comes from
dynamic
that
ever
is
shifts.
The idea that you can never, if you add a power element to it, and this is why they do it, by the way, you add a power element to it, and now you can never be racist against white people. You can say anything that you want to them. By the way, this is inherently racist because
It is.
when they're talking about power, what do you mean by power? There are plenty of white people that are living in trailer parks. You know, there are plenty of white people living in poverty in like Appalachia and stuff like that. What are we even talking about? They're making an
What's
assumption.
funny is that there's so many of them doing that there's an actual term to describe them that is not actually seen as offensive or racist.
That just because a person's white, they have power, which is racist again, right? Even the assumption itself is racist. But what they're saying is that you can't be racist against people that have power, which gives them basically a blank slate to say anything they want about white people. And they do this to men as well, but specifically only white men.
Like white America likes to do. They like to play victim to this reverse racism thing.
And now he's claiming whites like to play victim. How's that not
Coming
racist?
from him is
This is the problem
hilarious.
I have with critical race theory is that under your logic, you can't be racist towards white people because you view white people as the group in power.
That's literally what you just said. Now he's gonna act like he didn't say it.
I don't define
just said
white people. I do not define white people as a whole as being racist. The white power.
But you just ascribed that to Warren on his side. You said people as a
Good
whole.
example right now.
Donald Trump's base? I'm
His,
sorry,
ba-
go
his,
ahead.
his base, it would be one,
Nice
and
moderator,
for
by the
what
way.
the reasons that they will clearly state themselves, and the reasons that they can.
This is why it's like people tell me I should get a moderator, but it's like I just feel like I feel like any moderator that my opposition would be glad to have is going to be on their side.
Yep.
It's basically going to be a 1v2, which is like honestly I might be fine with that, but you know.
Not give you a definition of why they support this man. They can't even tell you.
Like I'm totally comfortable like 1v7ing them, to be honest. Like it just seems like the same thing.
They can, you can, okay? But the base, no, they can't. And then if we want to talk about DEI, can we get a good look at what's in his cabinet right now?
So now it's going to become about Trump. And this is not about Trump. And I was trying to emphasize this fact. These concepts are deeper than politics. And if you want an alternative to Trump and you don't contend with this, you don't stand a chance.
And so the more that we get concerned about Trump, the more these conversations become important because this is the only way you're going to get an alternative to Trump. If you just run another person on the left and they don't contend with these ideas, and I'm trying to point out, you're likely to repeat it.
Kenna explained to DEIA yesterday. He said, for example, if you strip all identifying information from a resume and leave only work, school, and experience, that is DEIA.
That's not
It's
DEIA.
not about-
That's just not being insane. That's just not being racist. That's just being rational. I'm going to hire the person who's best for the job. That's not DEI.
Exactly. Yo,
That's-
Madeline. Thank you.
Equity is something very specific, and this is why it's so difficult to have these conversations because people distract, they shut it down, they talk about politics, they won't talk about DEI. I'm trying right now. Equity means something very specific.
The idea that Donald Trump was not a victory of a right so much as a failing of the left. This is the failing.
if we have the black guys who are scoring at 90. We have the white guys who are scoring at 89.5.
And I've been saying this, by the way, like I've been saying this forever, that these crazy people on the left, they're completely own-goaling themselves. They're creating the systems of which will create the hatred towards themselves. And it's all because of greedy overreach. Like they want too much. They don't care about other people. It's only about me, 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 me. You can't function in a society when there is no compromise. And that's the system that they're creating, is that if you are against us, then we will do everything in our power to destroy you, which leaves no room for any sort of reconciliation. Because of that, these people, you know, the LGBTQIA++ LMNOP people, and like these hardcore leftist commies, and like all of these people, you know, they're like all of the, oh, we're so glad that like Charlie Kirk died, you know, shouldn't have missed on Donald Trump. Trying to cancel everybody, trying to overly push their ideology and cancel anybody that doesn't like agree with their ideas of reality. They are the ones creating the counter pressure that will eventually destroy them. And I've been saying this, that you guys don't understand that your craziness is actually what's going to lead to people hating you. And it's already happening. It's been happening for like the last 5 years, really, is that the counter force is starting to roll, is starting to spin up, and now you're starting to see like straight up hatred for these people, when that wasn't really the case before. People were kind of like live or let live, yeah, whatever, you know, live or let live. I don't really agree with it, but you know, whatever, you live your life, I live mine. And now there's open hostility, disdain, and hatred for these people. And they're the ones who created it.
In your opinion, in today's climate, and
Come on, boys. It's really not that long to search. Come on.
The job the best.
Person that can do the job.
Yeah, that's what
yeah, that would be the rational thing. Absolutely.
Okay, I wanted you to say that. Thank you.
You don't have to be a fool. If I want to hire a computer programmer, I would be sabotaging my own business if I didn't hire the person.
I'm glad you said that.
Wait, why is this guy being so smug about it? Like what? Okay, let's hear it.
Because he thinks he has a point when he doesn't.
5 black men over decades were not getting hired. So now we make lawsuits.
A metaphorical individual you're just claiming is super qualified and has not been able to find a job for 20 years. Do you have any evidence to back that up? Is that
No.
real?
Can I just add a stat to that, and then I want Warren to answer? African Americans make up approximately 5.5% of computer programmers in the U.S. between 2000
Yeah, there's probably a reason for that.
2025. By the way, black professionals constitute about 13% of the population. That's an actual stat, that's not an opinion.
Yeah, that's evidence of nothing. I'll break that down. Why? That's not evidence of prejudice. People make their own decisions based on multiple.
This is the same thing too. Like they do this with like they do this with the women thing about how, oh, there's like not, you know, it's not 50-50 in engineering. Yeah, because women don't want to do it. Like this idea that like we should force like specific racial quotas in specific racial, sexual, cultural, sexual orientation quotas and stuff is ridiculous. People should be free to do whatever they want, and like different cultures like want to do different things, and like that's fine. This idea that it needs to be hard even across the board is just ridiculous.
Factors. Are you familiar with the work of Roland Fryer? He's a black Harvard professor who has done the most in-depth. Okay, so if I work at a bank and my job is to issue loans, right? And my job is to keep that default rate as low as possible. That is my goal. It's not to issue loans based on race. No, I want to get that as low as possible. And I'm able to get that default rate down to 0.8%. And then Brian comes along and looks at my books and says, well, wait a minute, Warren, 70%, hell, 80% of the people that walked in your office that were black got turned down. And white people, they don't have that issue. Say, yes, Brian, but when you look at the default rate, it is consistent across, it doesn't matter what color you are, across all demographics. Yep. Most people don't think that way. And that's just Roland's point. They look at the disparity and say, wait, you turned down 80% of black people though. It's, dude, that is not evidence of bias.
It's not, no.
It's will you default on the loan or not? Which goes back to the socioeconomic conversation. Do you disagree with any of that?
I'm glad he's able to articulate this as high level as he is, because I don't even know if I would be able to maintain a thought long enough to kind of make that point. But then again, this is a subject he's way more knowledgeable on than I am, so it could be that too.
Like this is a case of these people seeing the data and then assuming a thing that's not even real out of it.
Yeah, it's like looking at all the right fucking statistic points and coming away with the wrong takeaway, basically.
In his diatribe of that, also clearly said that 100 white people were giving loans, and only 50 black people were giving loans.
And again, he's completely missing the point that that part of the equation should never be zeroed in on. But it's the only part that he zeroes. This is why you can't talk to these people, because this is all they ever see with everything.
And so, yes, if you take the point,
Whatever happens, this is just a thought experiment. He's not pulling.
That's correct.
It quickly becomes apparent that this guy probably isn't as familiar with Roland Fryer's work as he wants us to believe. He's a nice guy, though.
When you look,
I'm sure he
at the
is.
true percentage, white people.
I'm sure he is very
the numbers.
nice.
So he
Until
also
you
made it
disagree with
clear
him.
that yes, the percentage numbers look higher for the black people.
I'm just trying to understand.
What is this guy
They get along.
So wait a minute, are you like Roland Fryer has not done a deep dive into banks issuing loans? This is a thought experiment. Are you making a claim that Roland Fryer has found some discrepancy in
Wait,
the
is he
default
just
rate
making
amongst
shit up?
He is just making shit
No,
up.
it's not a default.
Then what are you
He
talking
is
about?
clearly saying that there has been less loans given to.
No, he isn't. He doesn't delve. He doesn't delve in banking
less
data.
loans,
Oh my
but a
God.
higher percentage of those loans were default. On the other end,
Okay,
more
and Roland
white
He's like
Fryer
AI
said this?
hallucinating. I
Yes.
know, man. What the
So
fuck?
Where?
Okay. I don't. He's never talked
Warren,
about
you
that.
can go back and do videos and look this up.
He's done deep dives into police statistics, not bank. This is
Yes.
a metaphor to demonstrate the same logic that you would apply to police statistics. He has never done a deep dive into loans.
He has not.
You're
he
making
he
all
said-
this up.
No, absolutely not. Because you can look up when he talks about the economics in America.
Where can I look that up?
I guess you can do like the rest of us. You can
There it
hit
is.
Google or go
There it is. Why don't you Google
Look good.
it?
Look it
Why
up for
don't you Google
yourself.
it, bro? Like every
to
time,
his
dude.
websites
Every
and everything.
fucking time.
He does talk
dude.
about economics. He has talked about
Ah.
economics for a long time
He's an
and how it
economist.
affects America's. He even
Yeah, but
talks
you just
about
claimed
how
he discovered a discrepancy in the default rate amongst whites versus
Source,
other
I
races.
made it the
you
fuck
heard
up.
my analogy of how he talks about
Jeez,
finance.
man.
So that was just a metaphor. What's the point you're demonstrating with that metaphor?
Point is, once again, if I give 100 white people a loan and I give 50 black people a loan, but maybe 40%
Or the white people are gonna pay it back than the black people.
of that 50 default. But the number on the white side is exactly thus it's more.
That was
it's
my-
more people.
Wait, so the default rate amongst white people is higher. That's your claim.
It would be exactly.
Like, why is per capita so hard to understand? Like, I just don't get it. Like, how is this so hard to what?
It's not that they don't understand it, it's that they realize it shuts down the entire argument, so they willfully choose not to understand it. Or they pretend like they don't.
What the hell's going on?
Based
Just
on
like-
what? You're just saying.
Okay, guys, how much IQ do you need to parse per capita? Like, I'm just curious. Like, what is it? It can't be that high. Like, it can't be that high. It's such a basic concept. It needs a level of abstraction. You're right. It needs like one. It does need like one level of abstraction. I don't know, man. Like,
Okay. God, that was really frustrating to listen to. We're gonna break for a bit. Be back in a bit. Oh shit. Didn't mean to do that.